Apple wallpapers. They're amazing, but hard to take. And no one has even tried to recreate them. And the person that I'm interviewing today took that challenge. So tell us about yourself.
My name is Andrew Levitt. I'm 24 years old. I live in California. And like you said beautifully right there, my breakout video that I'm known for is recreating all of the default Apple wallpapers.
Yes. So who was your inspiration for YouTube?
I think I have a lot of the classic inspirations that most people had. Casey Neistat was a big one. I watched a lot of him. I watched him a bit in high school and then a lot of him when I was in college. And I think that's when like the turning point was for me. I think Sam Colder really pushed boundaries with cinematography.
Yeah.
And I met him once when I was in college, and that kind of like set us, like me and my friends, off on like, maybe we want to pursue this further and like not just go for the YouTube style of things, but try to mix YouTube a little with higher quality production. So yeah, there are two big inspirations for me with video making.
Yeah, I actually was trying to get Sam Colder on my podcast. Like his management replied to my email, but he was in Bali, so like he couldn't like connect. So I keep on like every month. I'm like, hey, do you have an update? So yeah.
Hopefully you get to talk to him. He's a really nice guy, and he's like he's really, really smart when it comes to everything filmmaking. Like I'm very impressed with everything he does.
Yeah, someone who does like similar videos to him is like Matt Como, who I actually found him out first. So like I really want to have Sam Colder on, so just like because I feel like those two are like the big cinematography YouTubers. And I kind of want to see like both their perspectives.
Wait, did you have Matt on the podcast?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. No, he's another nice guy too.
Definitely. So how did you come up with the idea for like recreating the Apple wallpapers, and like why did you actually decide to do it? Because like coming up with the idea and then actually doing it are like two different things.
So. Yeah, it was about 6 months into like my first year of full-time making videos. To give you just like a short background, I graduated a year early from college, and I decided that I'm going to pursue this full-time. So I was just doing freelance video to kind of pay the bills, and then YouTube was like kind of my side project. And my roommate at the time, I was in LA. Him and I were watching TV, and like once you hit pause for a while, a screensaver shows up on like it was on like an Amazon Fire Stick, and there was a bunch of images of just like different national parks, and I was like, I know where that is, and I was like, I know where that is too, and my roommate Gray goes like, oh, that'd be really cool to like go to all these places, and then that kind of got me thinking. I'm like, that would be cool if we went to them and like visited them. And then I started thinking, well, what if we recreated these photos? But these weren't the Apple wallpaper photos. These were just like random photos you'd see on like a Chromecast or whatever.
Yeah.
And so then I started thinking, well, what's a photo that's more well known? Like what's something that people would notice all the time?
Yeah.
And I'm not lying. I was staring at my computer and I'm thinking this, and then I'm like, the wallpaper that's on my computer right here. And so then I started looking up where all these Apple photos were taken.
They have it in the name, right?
What was that?
They have it in the name, right?
Yeah. It's like Yosemite, macOS Sierra, macOS Mojave. And so I was looking up like where the locations are. And then I realized that luckily for us, the theme of the past 10 Apple wallpapers that they're doing right now is California locations. And I'm from California. Lucky. Yeah. So then I started mapping out, finding where each of them were. And this idea came about, it was like 2019, like early 2019 or like the end of 2018. And we really, like, I knew this was like a good idea. I thought it was something that was pretty original. I didn't think it was something that like anyone had done. But I was waiting for like the right timing for it. I told all my friends about it. All of them thought it was great, but it never like came. It took time to kind of get there. We waited until like I had gotten enough videos under my belt, and then I was working closely with my buddy Jacob. I was now living in Northern California in San Jose, and so Jake and I were like working close together and like getting that chemistry. And then we pulled in Taylor, the photographer, because he shoots a bunch of like landscape photography. He's known for that. And we're like, I'm not a photographer. A lot of the times people mix that up. But I'm more of a videographer, same with Jake.
Yeah.
So we knew we needed like the right person, because if he wasn't there, Jake and I would have shown up and we would have just like snapped a photo and it wouldn't have been the same. So Taylor really worked his magic there. And so, yeah, then I think it was 6 or 7 months later that we went and shot the video itself.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the idea of how we came up with it. And then it all of a sudden came to fruition.
The idea of how you guys came up with it is kind of like funny. You have just like, you paused it and then like, I found that very funny. And was he like the one who helped you guys with the creating your own Apple wallpaper? Yes.
Yep. That's the same guy.
Yeah, because something like you said, you were just snapped the photo and then left. In that video, you guys took the photo on 2 different days, or like 3, just to like perfect it, which I feel like was a very smart move.
Yeah, Taylor's like really good about just being like, he knows, because when you're a landscape photographer, you know like where the sun's rising from, when it's setting, what's the best lighting, what's the best timing, and he's really good about getting us there at the correct time to do things.
You can tell.
I'm not good at that. Like it's especially funny because Jake and I are not morning people. We hate waking up, and a lot of the times for landscape shots, you're waking up at
very
5
early
in the morning or something like that, and it's always Taylor waking us up for stuff like that. It's just funny.
That's actually very funny. Like, so what was the craziest thing you did for like just to recreate those photos?
That's a hard one to pin down one thing. I could probably
the top 3.
Because we've done it over 3 trips now. We've done 3 different videos on it. The first video we did like 6 wallpapers at once. I think it was 5 or 6. And I would say the hardest thing we did, or the craziest thing we did, was the macOS Mojave. Because we were in Death Valley, which is has the highest temperatures ever recorded on this planet. It happened in Death Valley. We were there in the summer.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you couldn't really tell. It was hot in the video, but like we were there for 2 full days shooting because we missed our window the first day to get the shot. So we were there for 2 full days in the heat going, and we scouted that sand dune twice. You only see it once in the video because just for timing. And it was just like 115 degrees minimum. Like wow. I think it reached up to like the highest temperature we recorded was 122. So that was difficult. That was the first stop on our trip.
I can imagine.
So that was the craziest there. When we shot macOS Catalina, that was a fully separate video. And that was difficult because the photo was taken on one side of the island, the western side. And we had to hike all the way out there to get the shot. And so, because we were thinking maybe we get a helicopter, maybe we get a boat, but that didn't work out. So we just hiked all the way out there, and we weren't sure if a drone was going to get far enough to get the photo. It ended up working out. We got very lucky. Like I'd say that was one of the closest we ever got to matching up with Apple.
Yeah.
And that trip just kind of worked out perfectly, but it was like a 3-day backpacking trip that was really tiring. And then this year was, I would say, one of the craziest things I've done. Might take the cake is with macOS Big Sur. We were waiting at the announcement. Apple was announcing their new macOS, like the name of it, and we were watching it live. And they chose Big Sur, and we saw the wallpaper.
You knew exactly where that was.
Yeah, we could tell, because you could see Bixby Bridge.
Yeah.
But the problem with it is we're like, that is very high up. To get a photo like that, I don't think a drone could reach that high. It's like, what was our first thought? And then we realized you can't fly drones once you go off the coast of Big Sur. So the only option we had there was to get in a helicopter to get that photo, which was all of our first times being in a helicopter. It was really, really fun. We made friends with the guy who owned the place, and he took us up there twice to go, get the photo. So it was a really special experience.
Yeah, like if I would have been scared, like just holding up the camera out, just like even taking it out like a backpack or something. For me, it would be in the backpack the whole time until we were at the right place.
Yeah, especially because you do doors off in this situation. Like not always in a helicopter do you take the doors off. But we never have camera straps on our cameras, but we all had camera straps that time. And like I wrapped them around my arm and everything because the wind just whips you the whole time. Like
I can imagine.
If you were to stick your hand out the window, immediately would fly backwards. So
yeah. If you were to pick one of those three, which one was the hardest for you and like your friends?
I would probably say our first trip because there was so much that we were shooting. And Death Valley was so tiring, and it was at the beginning of our trip that like I think the trip took us 6 or 7 days, and it was just like exhausting. But it paid off really well. That was our breakout video, but our joke the whole time we were shooting it is that we were going to such great lengths for 200 views because that was like the average I got on my channel at the time.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it ended up like blowing up well past whatever we ever dreamed of.
Was it like instant or like did it take a while?
It took a week. So we posted the video and then I spent a week just posting on Reddit on certain subreddits that had to do with Apple or travel or nature. And so I was writing articles or posting photos and just kind of interacting with people. And that was enough to get us to 10,000 views. And that was more views than I'd ever gotten before. I think the most I'd ever gotten on a video, 4,000 or 5,000. And then once it hit 10,000, it started like just exponentially going. It was compounding really quick. And then, so once it hit 10,000, I think the next day it hit 1 million.
Wow.
It was also timed perfectly with the time that Apple announced their new iPhone. And so if you went to like YouTube's homepage, you could see a Apple tab with a bunch of videos, and our video was in front of the Apple announcements.
Really?
Which was like crazy. And I think that's partly why it did so well, because there was Apple was in the news, people were talking about Apple, and so it was just getting sent out to all these people.
Yeah, that was like definitely the right time, because I feel like if it wasn't that exact time, it would have done good, but not as good. So,
yeah, we got lucky. We didn't plan that on purpose, not at all. Like it just worked out that way.
Yeah. So like Apple kind of like called you out. What was your reaction for that?
Well, we're still not certain if they were talking about us. We've gone back and forth. Right now, I'm thinking it would be crazy if they actually did.
It would be very funny.
Because it doesn't seem likely, but they said in their newest announcement something about imitators, and they've made jokes like play on words for years with their crack marketing team, the people that pick these photos. So when they said imitators, we were a bit confused. Like if you watch the video, you'll see us kind of
maybe like other companies.
Yeah, because when they said imitators, and we're thinking, oh, maybe they're talking about us. But then they said competition, and we're like, we're not on their level. We're not competition with them. And so that's what made us think, oh, maybe they aren't talking about us. But then we watched it over again and over and over and again. We're like kind of convinced ourselves maybe they were talking about us, but we still don't know. We're still trying to figure that out.
Because like the only other company I can think of that like does like their own wallpapers is Razer. But like they aren't like landscape wallpapers, So
yeah, that's what the confusing part for us was. We're like, who else would they be talking about? And some people I forget exactly, like some people were commenting some decent ideas, but there's nothing that like fit it perfectly. But we don't fit that perfectly because we're not competition, and like we don't view ourselves as their competition. They're a $1 trillion company. We're just 3 guys with some cameras. Yeah.
Did you like ever think of like collabing with them for like a wallpaper?
With Apple? Oh, I mean, I would love to. We've talked to a few people on their creative team. But it's been like they're pretty quiet and secretive. So like we don't know really much that goes on beyond like behind the scenes. A bunch of them reached out when the first video came out, and we said like, you know, we live in Silicon Valley. We would love to come like talk to you guys and see what like behind the scenes of all this, but we didn't hear back from them.
You should like try like cold emailing. Just like
I tried that with Craig Federici, the guy who does all the software side of Apple, but we never heard back from him.
Yeah, like it's just one of my brother's friends like was tapping random emails to get in contact with like, I think it was like the CEO of Lululemon, and then he actually got in contact with him and they like met.
No way.
Yeah. And maybe like maybe not with Apple, but with like maybe like another company that's not as big as Apple, but like are quite big.
Yeah. We joke because most companies probably would reach out, but Apple is just such a big entity that like it's hard to communicate with them, and they're very secretive. So we get that, we respect that.
Yeah, definitely.
But maybe we should keep trying again.
Yeah, you definitely should, because other companies like give hints for like what's coming up next, and Apple are like, we're not telling you until WWDC.
Yeah, exactly.
So how was the brainstorming process for those videos like?
The Apple Wallpaper videos specifically?
Yeah.
It's usually brainstorming is like once we have the idea, the brainstorming process turns more into just planning. So like for the first trip we went on, it was mapping out our route and deciding like where we would start and where we would end. And then also trying to find each of these locations where the photo was taken. Taylor was really great helping with this, where he used Google Earth to try to kind of find the right angle, because you can get this 3D mode. And so we tried to get the right angle in certain places, and we got like kind of an idea of where some of these photos were taken. But then showing up a few of these locations, it was a whole different ball game of like finding the spot itself. But so that was a bit of the planning. When we got to like Catalina, there's a lot more logistics of like, all right, I got to fly Taylor in here. We're going to take a ferry out to this island. And then we need to have enough food, water, and then electricity basically to charge all of our cameras and our batteries. So I was planning like more stuff like that, which takes some time. And then Big Sur was more like we didn't have time to plan because we were waiting for the video to come out, and then we were immediately going to do it. So that was kind of figuring it out as we go, you know, like being like, okay, we can't get a drone. Let's contact someone who pilots a helicopter, and then like, oh, like let's go visit Big Sur first before going in the helicopter and stuff like that.
Yeah, what was like the difference for the Apple ones and then making your own Apple wallpaper? Like, which one was harder for you guys, and what was the brainstorming process for that video?
They're different challenges, because when we decided to create our own Apple wallpaper, it's just different because, and I think Apple must have it's a big challenge for them to choose locations, because you want to find something that is like such a perfect composition. And I think we kind of underestimated that when we decided to try to create our own and like guess Apple's next wallpaper. Because it's not super easy to find that like beautiful composition where something stands out, but you know,
they probably take like weeks to find like the place they want, or maybe even like months.
And then also they have to come up with a name that rolls off the tongue, you know? So it seems like quite a challenge. So it was a different kind of challenge when we tried to create our own wallpaper. But that was a fun one that I want to do again. We want to do like macOS Tahoe, macOS Sequoia. So that's on our list of things.
That'd be cool. When I went to LA, like December, January, we went to Sequoia, and it's a very nice. If you go in winter, you could definitely come up with a cool one, I would think.
I want to do something with a bit more snow. I guess we're kind of running out of that season right now. We have a bunch of projects right now that are going to happen before we get to that again. But
Yeah. So like you were saying, the Apple Wallpaper was like your kind of like breakout video. How did you convert like the millions of people that saw that video into subscribers?
Well, we did get a decent amount of subscribers from the first video. When it is funny how this all the timing happened. I posted that video a week before my 1 year on YouTube on this channel under my name.
Yeah.
And so by the time it was blowing up, I hit my 1 year, and I think I was at 720 subscribers in my whole first year of making YouTube videos. And then in the course of the next week after that, I was at 30,000. So I went from 720 an entire year
Wow.
to 30,000 in a week, which is really crazy. And then once we posted
Yeah.
the follow-up Catalina video, I think that pushed us over to like 50,000 or 60,000, which was really cool. A big challenge we're finding now is trying to convert those subscribers who came for the Apple things to be interested
In
in
your
the
new
rest of our
stuff.
stuff. Yeah, because like we make a lot of videos that are very similar to that Apple Wallpapers video, but they don't have that exact same theme, but it'll have the same feel of just like friends going out and going on an adventure, doing something fun. But a lot of people, when you blow up for a specific video, are only there for that. And so it's trying to find a way to get them to watch the rest of our videos. That's still a challenge we run into.
Yeah, I think you guys did it very well. Like you saw that did good. So you made like other videos related to that, which kind of like is finding an opportunity and like kind of like milking it, like getting more than one video out of it. So yeah.
Yeah, we did a video where there's a shot on iPhone. It's like an Apple campaign.
Yeah.
And so we tried to create. They have like billboards all over our city, and so we're like, well, let's create like our own and try to like submit it to become a billboard because regular people submit those photos. So that was another way that we kind of tried to use it. It perfectly tied in photography and Apple again. Which was another fun project that we kind of tried to make our subscribers and our audience happy with.
Yeah. Does it kind of annoy you or like that you're known as the guy who recreated Apple Wallpapers? You want to be known as that guy or like don't be known as something else? Or do you just like don't really care?
I would love to grow out of that eventually. I don't expect it to happen immediately. But I think we can offer a lot more than that. And I think when you typecasted really hard, it's difficult. It's difficult to get your audience to empathize and be interested with other genres of video. And I really enjoyed making those Apple Wallpapers videos, and we're going to continue to make them. But there, just creatively, there's other things that we want to try out, and we've been experimenting with different video types. Because eventually I would love to be able to grow out of that. It'd be awesome.
Yeah, because like your recent video, which was the like different countries in Texas, I feel like that video was really good. And maybe if you like keep on making videos like that, people will see, oh, so he's not only good at recreating Apple wallpapers, he's also good at different types of content.
Yeah, exactly. It's still the same. Like that video is great because it's the same kind of feel. Like we go for the same like themes and feel in that video of like carefree adventure. But yeah, we try different topics, and we're trying to see what will stick. I've noticed recently that a lot of my audience is photographers and filmmakers, and people who watch tutorial content. And that's not necessarily what we do. We do a lot more adventure and vlogging and less tutorial stuff. So it's trying to find a way to get out of that niche is like a big challenge for us.
Yeah. Did you like ever think of like doing like another channel or like a video about like what was the process like or like the behind the scenes?
I've been pushing Jake to make a YouTube channel for a long time because Jake is like an expert filmmaker. He has a phenomenal freelance business in San Jose. And I'm like, dude, make a channel so we can post behind the scenes content, or you
Yeah,
can post tutorials and
those
show
would do
like how
very
we do
well.
all this. Because I think a lot of people do come to our content because they like the quality of it and they want to learn that. And I'd love to teach people that. So eventually it'll definitely be a thing.
Yeah, I think I feel like that'd be definitely good kind of idea. And I think it might get like a good amount of views. And I know I would watch it. Even though I might not like try to make videos like that, but I'll definitely still like watch it. I know a lot of
Nice.
people still will.
Yeah, that's good to hear then.
So like 1 week ago, you said that on your community post, if that post got 1,000 likes, you were going to recreate the Windows XP Bliss on
Yes.
wallpaper. How's that been going?
Well, we got the 1,000 likes, which was nice. And we're currently in the process of doing it. I'll give you some insider talk about it. We have a 2-step plan going on right now because there's a big challenge behind this one.
A clip is coming out of here.
Yeah. The Windows wallpaper, the Windows XP wallpaper is one of the most famous photos ever taken. Like,
Yeah.
the fact that you know it is great because I was talking to my dad about this, who still runs Windows XP. And he's like, no one knows what that photo is anymore. And I'm like, no, I'm telling you, people do. But I was curious if a younger generation would still know what that photo was. But it's said to be one of the most famous photos ever. And
yeah, I think it is.
Yeah. And the location is an hour and a half from my house. Once again, conveniently.
Oh my God.
Right here. But it's changed. The Green Hill is now a winery. So it's not exactly the same. And so we have a 2-step plan going on right now. We want to make a video where we go visit that location. And the idea is to kind of show like your expectations is this green, beautiful wallpaper, and the reality is this winery.
Yeah.
So Jake and I are going to go scout that next week and see how it looks, see if it's green or not, because we want to make sure it's green and because they have their season for everything. And we're going to make a video about that story and a little bit of the background of like the Windows XP wallpaper, how it was created. And then our plan is to do a full recreation video in April. And so that is, we're going to fly Taylor in. We're going to go visit that spot up in Napa where the photo was taken. Taylor's going to try to recreate it, but it's not going to look the same, right? Because it's a winery now. So we're going to fly back from where Taylor's from, Seattle, and we're going to drive out to a place called Palouse, where it has green grassy hills, rolling white clouds, and we're going to try to get a photo there that looks more similar to the photo that you'd see that you're used to.
Yeah, and I think like someone commented on that community post, like, isn't that made up with like Photoshop or something?
It's debated. People have debated that of whether or not the photo has Photoshop in it. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I don't know either.
It would be really hard to get grass that green and a sky that blue. You'd need a perfect day for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're excited to do this, and our idea behind it is like, that's an old photo. It's a very old photo. And if you wanted it as your wallpaper today, it might, I think it was shot like 4:3, not even like 16:9.
It wouldn't fit on.
But it was shot on film, which is, I think it's pretty high quality. But our idea is we're going to get you like an up-to-date one. We want to get you, 4K photo that you can wallpaper you can use today.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like a lot of people definitely like to use that. It's for like nostalgia, kind of. And this podcast is probably coming out like April or March, because I already have other podcasts in it before this one. So if you have like any more like stuff you want to say, you can like say them, because it'll be out like late March or like early April.
I'm good. I'm fine giving you like spoilers, because This will most likely be out before our second video is out.
Okay.
Where we recreate everything. So yeah, if people ever want to see a little up or a little ahead of the schedule, they can watch this podcast. I'll let them know.
Yeah. So, like, what's your favorite video you have made?
That's a hard one. We did a Q&A the other day, and I got stuck on this question. Let me pull up real quick. I'll try to keep this brief, but
this question is always hard for people.
I think my favorite videos are the ones where I have a lot of my friends around and we're just having a good time. Like I prefer, because there's such good memories to me, and remembering moments like that make me really happy. So an old one, yeah, this is from over a year ago. This is the one I posted before the Apple Wallpaper
Wait, I want to try and guess.
If you guessed it, I'd be impressed.
We let Instagram decide where we travel.
That's one of my favorites. That's one of them.
Oh, then the abandoned ship in Greece, or the Casey Neistat one. I want to work at Casey Neistat.
I think this one would surprise you, the one I'm thinking about.
Which one is it then?
It's finishing my summer bucket list in one day.
Oh, wait.
Because that one I just had.
Oh, okay.
6 of our friends who were all really, really excited about this idea I came up with. And the idea around the video was that it was the end of summer. I'd been locked indoors working the entire time. And and most people will start their summer with the summer bucket list and they'll try to check things off. But since I was so behind, I was like, let's try to finish our summer bucket list
in one day.
And so I made this list. I think it had 45 different things on it. And everything you did, you get like a 0.4. Some things were worth more than 1 point, like 5 or 10. And then I split us into 2 teams. So I made a competition out of it. And everyone just had such a good time. Like I thought like everyone just really like their characters really shone through, how much fun we were having like shown through. So it's videos like that I think they hold a special place in my heart because of the memories. I maybe other people like would like more videos like we let Instagram decide where we travel, because I think that was a really fun, beautiful one. Or like the Texas one right now, that's just kind of like a fun thing. But a lot of those videos, like the one about 6 months ago, can we get on TV in 24 hours challenge, was just a really fun thing where like me and my friends were just like having a good time. And those are my favorite to look back on. Yeah, I definitely have like a lot of videos with my friends that were like with one of my friends or like with multiple of my friends that I just like love rewatching because they're just like so funny, you know? Exactly. Yeah. And those are great. Like that's so awesome you're doing that from a young age, because you'll have those memories forever. Yeah. And there's like so many like funny moments. We have like we were doing a live stream like 4 years ago, maybe. And then the live stream is still saved. We were like rewatching our old videos. And then a clip came up of like his mom coming in like, do you want like carrots with hummus? And then we just like back and that was just so funny. Yeah. So, and like since we have so many of those, like we have like more than like 5 hours of like those videos. They're like 1 hour long Minecraft videos, unedited. So they're like raw. So yeah. Dude, I'm getting goosebumps with you telling me that. I'm very impressed with how much you've accomplished at your age. And Thank you. And I'm really happy to hear that you have all this. I tell everyone, film more your life, life. I don't, you might have this 5 hour raw clip of you just playing Minecraft. And you might think like, I don't know what I'll do with this, but like, there always seems to be something where you can find a way to use old footage, or like, you don't think about it at the time. So I really admire that you're doing this now. And I think those are gonna be some great memories. Every time I post a new video, I'm like, this is one more thing that I'll get to look back on or show my kids later on that they'll get to see. There's this one YouTuber, his name is Michael Bloom or Bloom something. And he's like filming every day of his life for like 1,000 days or like 360 days, which is very cool. Michael Bloom. That sounds so familiar. Is he an Instagrammer or something?
Yeah, I think he has like his Instagram is bigger than his YouTube, I think. Michael Bloom. Yeah, he has like, oh wait, it's not Bloom. It's YouTube is Bloom Films.
Let me look it up.
Yeah, it's Bloom Films. He has 23,000 subscribers.
And he's filming us every single day of his life, he said, or something like that?
Yeah, it's project. Oh, okay. So he's filming every, like, his next 10 years of his life, 3,653 days.
Wow. That sounds like a monster of footage to go through.
Yeah, like,
wow. Good for him.
Yeah, and he's like uploads kind of frequently, like once a week, and his videos are very cool. They're very different. And then like every year he like uploads like a recap, which is cool.
I'll have to take a look at him. I've never heard of him, but I always enjoy a new YouTuber.
Yeah. So do you have any advice for like upcoming YouTubers or anyone who wants to be a YouTuber that hasn't started yet?
Yeah. First thing I would say is like, you get ready to put in a lot of work. I think a lot of people these days expect
underestimate
blow-up stories. Yeah. Because you see them where like a creator will go from nothing to something in a short amount of time.
Like Dream.
Yeah, exactly. And a bunch of people did deserve it and worked really hard for it. And some people do get really lucky. But there's a lot of other stories where that doesn't happen. A big saying that we've always, my friends and I have always repeated is it takes 5 years to blow up overnight. That people will think you just blew up really quickly, but really you are putting in 5 years of hard work. So I think people need to adjust their expectations when starting and not expect to be a breakout sensation, celebrity, internet sensation immediately.
Yeah, for me, it was like because I was very young when I started, so like I expected like very quick to like grow, and no.
Yeah.
And a lot of my friends were like, if I were a YouTuber, I could like grow a channel to 1,000 in a week. And I'm like, no, you wouldn't.
Yeah,
no chance. And you only see the end product. You don't see like that like tireless nights of him like your favorite YouTuber like working.
Yeah, exactly. So if anyone's young is trying to get started, I would just say like be ready to put in a lot of hard work. I would also say work on growing off platform. A lot of the big successes I've seen with people using like blowing up on YouTube has been because they've blown up somewhere else.
Like TikTok.
Exactly. TikTok's a big one right now. Other people have used Reddit. I mean, that's how we kind of did it. Twitter is just, TikTok's a great example for like modern age of like what you should be doing, because YouTube's algorithm is trying to give people the best content possible. And it usually won't trust smaller creators to give that to people. It won't send that out to a larger audience.
Yeah.
So it's hard. It's a hard algorithm to figure out. We definitely haven't figured it out yet, and I've been doing this for years.
I haven't either.
It's a challenge.
But like one thing I kind of noticed is like getting people to like watch one of your videos and binge watch your other videos, and like YouTube will like push it out.
Exactly. If you get people to get hooked on one and then go back to all your old ones, like, that's another good example of like, just because you posted a video that got 100 views or 2 weeks ago, doesn't mean that it's not going to grow to 100,000 in a year. Like when our Apple Wallpapers video started doing so well, my second video I ever posted went from like 300 views to it's at over 100,000 now, I think.
Wow.
So just because a video didn't blow up immediately doesn't mean it won't ever.
Yeah. Like I started the YouTube Shorts channel, like this is Minecraft Shorts, and I was posting like one every day. And then this one video I posted 1 week ago. Yeah, 4 days ago. Yesterday it blew up, and now I was like over 50,000 views, which is my most viewed YouTube. I'm like, all my on my 2 channels that I've had.
Congratulations.
And it took like, I was like, this video, the first day it wasn't doing well, so I was like, no chance. And then it just all of a sudden like 50,000. Same thing with tons of my other videos. I uploaded a podcast that wasn't doing so well in the beginning, and then like 2 months later, like 1,000 views instantly, and it's kind of like weird.
Yeah, it's hard to understand, but that's awesome that you got that. It's great that you're doing YouTube Shorts and that you have a channel for that. Like, because there's definitely a future in that, and like that's a good way of like pushing the algorithm and getting into the right place, because they'll push shorts more than they would a regular video.
Because it's a new feature. And like I tried posting shorts on my main channel, and that just brought my average view duration down. So like they're not promoting the videos anymore. That kind of like hit my channel with the podcast highlights. So I started a new channel. It's like Nicocun Shorts, where I'm posting them there, and like I'm posting my TikToks there too. Then I started the Minecraft channel, which is also doing well, very well.
Great.
And I told like none of my subscribers know I have that channel until this podcast. So,
really?
Yeah, it was like all natural.
Well, yeah, you said you got 500 in like a month or so.
Yeah, I got 100 in a week. And then it took like 3 weeks to get to 200. And then 3 days ago, I was at 200. Let me check the exact amount. So on Thursday, I had 7:41 p.m. I had 239 subscribers. And then 1 day later, not even 24 hours later, I got 400 subscribers. And I had actually gotten to 536, but YouTube thought they were bots, so they like removed the subscribers.
But they can add them back eventually.
Yeah, that's what they did yesterday. They added like them back.
That's awesome. I hope eventually they'll make it so that the Shorts tab is like attached to your channel, but it's not in your videos tab. You know?
On the phone, you can like if you go like on your channel, there's like you can add like a feature over here, and you can like people can scroll through all your shorts.
Yeah, and so I would hope that
you have to add that. You have to add that.
A lot of people are making second channels to do shorts, but it would be great if you could have your shorts separate from your, like, it's a whole different analytic, whole different tab. Regular videos on the computer too, because I think that's where there's a confusion, is like if I go on my computer and I see a vertical video, I'm like, why, this doesn't feel right. Phone, it feels right.
But like what I do is I like to post them like in squares, so it feels more like natural on computer.
Smart.
Yeah, and there's like this website that does it for you, so I just like put the video in the file that already is like the normal size that people post, and it just brings it down to the square or the
it just cuts vertical. It, crops it for you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is very good. I like that a lot. I use it a lot.
Yeah, that makes your life easier, that's for sure.
Yeah. Anyways, this is the end of the podcast. Thank you so much for coming on. This really means a lot. So before we end, do you have anything like you want to promote, like your social medias?
Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Andrew Levitt, or if you look up just Recreating Apple Wallpapers, you'll definitely find us. We're going to be
the first 3 results are probably him.
Yeah, we're going to be recreating the Windows wallpaper soon, so keep an eye out for that. Or if this gets out before or after that, maybe it's already created. Yeah, and they'll be in the description, and whenever the video comes out, I'll like update it with the Windows Bliss wallpaper. Awesome. Well, yeah, thank you so much for having me. This is my first podcast ever. I told you that before we started recording, but thank you very much for having me on my first podcast. And this is special. An honor. It was amazing having you. This has been one of my favorite podcasts. Thank you. Well, keep killing it, dude. Seriously. Thank you. I really admire what you're doing, and we'll keep in touch. Yeah. Anyways, thank you so much for coming on, like I already said, and I'll see you next episode of the Nicocast.